coffee? Are you sat down cozy, ready for, I think, is this the second one of the Faery workshops? This is the 3 mini workshops, Faery Forest, Faery Workshops, Real Witchcraft. Tea and notebook, that's good. I like that. Nice and organised, Julie. I think notebooks are good. Taking notebooks is always good. I have my notes here so I don't end up, because if I sit here and I just talk off the top of my head, I'll be here for just talking forever, and then your notebooks will be all scrambled with different information. So I've tried to keep things, I've bullet pointed some stuff that I want to talk about to you. So when you put them in your grimoires, your notebooks, your book of shadows, they'll be in order for you. So it's much more value to you and you can use it and it'll be more organised for you. So hope that helps. It's lovely to have you, Sue. Okay, folks, nearly there. Keep that energy going. Just like Sam has said, lift that energy. It's an energy exchange. Spirits are here. And can someone let me know, are we there? I can just about see up the top. Thanks, Sam. I really appreciate you sharing. That's really kind of you. It really does help. Okay, so put that over there. So yeah, so welcome then, magical ones. It is Blessed Lammas on the 1st of August, and are you ready? So really, this is about honouring bread of life. It's talking about the sacrifice of the old and bringing in the growth. Okay, and we're going to really talk about that right now. So when we talk about Lammas, we talk about, you know, the old being gone, being sort of got rid of, and then giving growth for new. So really what it's talking about is when we get rid of the old stuff, we make room for new. And that's a really important thing in witchcraft, because it's energy and it works in our life. When in our lives, when we got too much things or too many people that are not active or contributing or actively helping us have growth in our life, it causes stagnation. So in the tarot card, if you think about the Hanged Man, when he's on his feet, he's a bit of a trickster. He's not meant to be on his feet. It's a tricky one, that. That's the same thing. So you think about the Hanged Man when you think of Lammas. It's about him being on his head, you know, the way he's meant to, it's a bit gruesome, and dropping. So, you know, that the Hanged Man, that sacrifice, that release and growth. So Lammas in the tarot, always, the Hanged Man is definitely the Lammas card. Sacrifice, release and growth. Okay, because when he goes bleh, okay, he goes on to reincarnation, okay, he gets a new vessel, has a happy life. So don't worry, it's not so sordid. I always felt sorry for him in that card, but don't worry, if you think of it in that way, it makes you feel better. What do you think? Do you always, who finds that card gruesome? Say yes if you do. Do you find that card quite gruesome? Because I do. I always think, oh, really be reincarnated. Think of the reincarnated bit when he's released, you know? So, yeah, Emma, you do. Julie, you do. I do. When I put it out, it makes me feel a bit, oh. Yeah, totally agree with you. Okay, so I want to ask you a question. So, back in Imbolc, which is here, the first one, that would have been January for you guys. So, where are we? I'm going to show you on here. So, that would have been the first, no, it's not, what am I on about? It's 1st of February, 2nd of February. Oh, all these dates, I think confusing. Okay, Imbolc. 1st of February, 2nd of February. This would have been on the Witch's Wheel where you would have set intentions. Now, don't worry if you didn't, okay? We can, you know, you can always start a little bit later, but as you go along, you'll get used to it as you're working with me. So, around about Imbolc. Now, if you missed that, I reckon around about Beltane, 30th of April, 1st of May, you should have set some intentions then. Or maybe you didn't until we come to the solstice, 19th to 23rd of June. So those are sort of 3 markers that you could use for setting intentions to manifest your goals. Now, it doesn't matter how small they are. They could be physical, emotional, spiritual, you know, the 3, you know, if you think of the 3 points, mind, body and spirit, okay, it all counts. And then, you know, when we join them all together, we get complete. We get the world card, which is complete, destiny calling, on the right path, okay? So, thanks to that, Julie. So, give me one of these Sabbats, first of all. Imbolc, Beltane, or Summer Solstice. You don't have to, but if you want to, get a little bit witchy. What intentions did you set? Because this is what we're looking for on the Lammas, is we're all looking for how far you've come. That's what you need to do. It's all about gratitude, okay? Looking at how far you've come. This is a celebration. This is a pat on the back, okay, Lammas? So do you remember back into February? Okay, can you look back then? Do you think that you've moved forward in your life? Do you think things have happened in your life? Say yes if they have. If they haven't, if you're not sure, say not sure, and I'll see if I can help you. Because I reckon spirits will nudge you on this. I know for a fact they will. A lot of you will be saying, no, 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 but I reckon if I could nudge you, I reckon I could nudge you and change that. Yes, Emma, that's good. Do you want to share with us how you have moved from, you know, sort of February Imbolc time to now? Share with us, Sam, how you have changed or moved or had growth in some way. Because in Lammas, this is about gratitude. This is about recognising that step, that harvest. It's the first harvest. We actually have 3 harvests in the wheel, witch's wheel. We celebrate 3 times our goals and our growth in our, you know, trying to manifest and get better at life and enjoying life. The universe wants you to enjoy life. It doesn't want you to be sad or depressed. It actually does want you, in witchcraft we believe, it wants you to have loads and be abundant. It wants you to be whatever you want to be that an astronaut, a millionaire, or just cozy in the cottage by the sea. It wants you to have those things. So could we mute somebody, admin? Somebody's here who needs muting. Unfortunately, someone's been a bit tricky. On my health, says Emma. That's brilliant. Well done. I'm really pleased. I don't know if I missed anybody else's comments there. You might have to repeat it because I missed it. There's somebody says, okay. Somebody's asking about tarot questions. I do tarot Monday to Friday, 9:30 to 12. Don't forget to register at my live events, top of the page, if you want that. Okay, this is the Faery Folklore Real Witchcraft. I'm doing the Lammas mini workshop at the moment. Okay, so Sam says, shedding what doesn't serve you. And on your true path, yes, I noticed. You're doing very, very brilliantly, actually. I take my witch's hat off to you. I feel that you've obviously grasped. I feel that you've got a calling right now, and so path. There's a lot of signs I've seen in you, Sam, that are really quite magically witchy, which is wonderful. So anybody else? Because really, it's about what's coming to fruition right now. What's actually happening in your life that wasn't happening, say, back in Imbolc, back in beginning of February here. And look, you know, and we go here to Lammas. It's the first harvest. It's all the way to there, look. This probably isn't the best wheel. Look how far you've come. Look how far you've come in that time. So let me give you some nudges if you don't know. Georgina, how far have you come since Imbolc to now Lammas? Can you give us an example? So let me give you some nudges. Maybe it is some emotional things. Maybe you have found a new path that is you're getting enjoyment out of. Maybe a new hobby or a new interest or something spiritually that is helping you to heal. Maybe it is literally that you've just decided to do one, you know, get off one bus stop early and you're getting a little bit fitter. Or it could be that you're gaining confidence to start doing what you need to do. Remember, it's only the first harvest. There's 3 harvests to the Wheel of Fortune. The Wheel of Fortune. I'm speaking tarot again. So I'm so used to tarot. I'm speaking tarot. The witch's wheel. Okay. So remember, the 3 harvests. We don't do everything at once. There's 1, 2, 3. Okay, and then we start again on the witch's wheel. So as a witch, we take things in our stride comfortably and enjoyably. Nobody gets punished. There's no narcissistic abuse. There's no, you must do this. There's no accountability. There's just support in the witch's circle. So I've left the religion, says Georgina, and found my way back to the truth I always knew. Brilliant. Really? That's amazing. All from Imbolc to now? Is that right? On the first harvest? Absolutely wonderful. It could be small things like you're just decided to just put up a small healthy boundary, or maybe you've decided, you're not doing anything about it, but you're thinking about, you know, are you being gaslit or manipulated by different people or professionals, and you've decided to look at that and maybe think, how can I handle that? On the first harvest, that would be emotional. Remember, by the second harvest, as we go kind of into autumn equinox, which is there, the next one, Maboon, we expect you to be taking action. But this Lammas could be just thinking about something. Does that make sense? Finding my path with you. I love that. I love that, Julie. So everybody should have something they've done from Imbolc to now. But don't worry if you can't think of something, because I guarantee you I can think of something for you. It could literally be just being here, learning about witchcraft. That's your first thing. If you're enjoying it, that's good for you. That's spiritual growth. Okay? And that could also lead to emotional growth and physical growth with other things. Okay? Because that's a big one, says Georgina. I love that. This is, you know, what you got to remember is that look where I started, you know, years and years ago when I was a young woman. I walked into a witch's shop. I followed a ginger cat. Actually did. I followed a ginger cat, and I was in a horrible relationship with this bully, narcissistic, horrible man. And I wanted to follow the ginger cat. And I followed what do you think? This is the ginger cat story. And through that, I told him to do one. I met some witches. And through that, my path in witchcraft went whoosh, literally in a few days. Whoosh. I met my tribe. I met my witches circle, my witches in kin. And then I went on to do very successful in a self-employed business. And then I did get really poorly for a long time, and now I'm back. So literally, you could say, literally just by meeting a witch led me to where I am with my career today, teaching witchcraft, studying, and literally, you know, gifted with the tarot, which I was from a child, but actually have the confidence to do it. So literally that started with something on Imbolc, very small. I don't know if it was Imbolc though. No, it probably wasn't. It was probably summer solstice. Maybe a bit earlier, Beltane. And then it led me to Lammas, that small thought, following a ginger cat. So see what I mean? We look at the little things. We look at the little things. That's why we're called toasters and ginger cats. So the ginger cat's there. He's always been there. He was actually called Mickey. He led me to the witches who was the start of my journey in witchcraft. So, thank you, Julie, says you're so inspiring. So, you know, the smallest of things, the cutest of things, the little of the things that give you pleasure could be leading you. It's like breadcrumbs in your journey. You know, little breadcrumbs, which you like, you know, like a chicken that pecks up the breadcrumbs. You're sort of following these little breadcrumbs in your life journey. And they're actually leading you to something massive, and you don't actually realise it. So how the universe works, it breadcrumbs you. It gives you little things that you love and that inspires you, makes you feel good. And you pick that up like a breadcrumb. Like me with the ginger cat, I love animals, especially ginger cats. And I had to follow him. And I told the horrible boyfriend to go away. And it led me on a new path where I am today, you know, massive. So it's those little things. Always look for the little pleasurable things and enjoy them, because they're leading you. They're the breadcrumbs of life. So when we think of Lammas, we think of bread and the breadcrumbs of life, if you like, leading us to better things. Does that sound like something that feels right for you? Does it help you understand a little bit more? What was that? What was that, Shan? Hi, Shan. I didn't get your question. I can see admin talking to you. Makes sense, Julie. I'm so pleased it does. Yes, Emma. Absolutely, Sis Georgie. So that's good. So we're going to come on to the scary bit now. And this is the bit of, you know, the hanged man in Lammas. We get the corn king. Now, some people call him the harvest god. Some people call him John Corn. And I remember me and Charlotte, we were down the forest once. Oh my God, it was crazy, to be honest with you. We made corn dollies, believe it or not. They were very beautiful, a male and a female. And we took them down to my forest. I have a forest altar, which we can talk about next time. Those who have bought a taxidermied rose off me, you'll be getting that. That's where your roses will be after your spell casting I did to you will be left. Where I left my corn dollies on my forest altar that the forest gifted to me, spirits gifted me. And we can talk about how you can find that. But we left them there, and I kid you not, but I don't know. It was really supernatural and weird. We were walking through the forest, and I'm not joking. Okay, it's going to sound potty now, but, you know, maybe I'm potty. But we both seen it. It was like this, I don't know, it was like this tree, like the end of a trunk that had come out. And I swear, I went, whoa, like that. And he went, whoa. And it literally looked like, not kidding, the face of John Corn. Not joking, that's Green Man, but it's John Corn. And we were both like flabbergasted. And I was like, that's weird. It was like, yeah, that is weird. We just left our corn dollies. So that was a very magical experience. And I can only tell you I've been blessed since. So, yeah, I believe in the Faery. I believe in nature spirits. They do show themselves to us. But going on from that, sacrifice is a horrible word, isn't it? And then we see the hanged man. And yeah, it's a very true story. And there's a lot of beginner witches here. You will have your paranormal, supernatural tales to tell on your journey of witchcraft that you will look back at sometimes and you will go, wow. And sometimes you'll think, I can't tell people that because they think I'm potty. Well, don't worry about it. Okay? Be potty. It's not for anybody else. It's for you. And just enjoy it. You know, we live in a world that people will call you potty no matter what you do. People will call you potty because you've got, you know, you've decided to be you. People will call you potty because you decided to go against the sheep and actually become who you're meant to be. So don't worry about it. Just tell your truth. The witch's wound, the throat chakra, has been kind of kept tight for way too long, witches. Just let it out, let it out. And in a unique way, yes, actually, Sam, yes. So sacrifice is a horrible word. Again, we'll come back to that, which I wrote and repeat, the hanged man, and that's what the corn stands for, the corn king. It's all about what the corn king's message to you on Lammas, because it's the wheat, okay, which makes the bread, is it's asking you, I've got to be careful of the certain words I use on TikTok, because there's rules, so let me think. What do you need to offer up? Because remember, the corn, once on Lammas, it's the first grain that hits, you know, the farmer brings to his big warehouse. So on Lammas is when all the farmers, or they did in the ancient times, I don't know about modern times, but in witchcraft, that the corn would be hacked and the corn would be, the first grain would hit, you know, the warehouse or whatever, the barn, and made into bread. Okay, and bread is life, it keeps us alive. So basically, what part of us needs to be offered up, okay, so we can truly grow. So have a think about that. That's the corn king's message. What part of us needs to be offered up, okay, given up, offered up, finished, so we can truly grow. So I can give loads of examples that you might not think of. So what about you folks? Have a think about it before I give you some nudges. What part of you needs to go before you can have growth? What do you need to get rid of? Now remember, there's 3 things in witchcraft. We have mind, body and spirit, so it could be any. That's emotionally, physically and spiritually. Are you brave enough to give me some? Come on, guys. Admin, start me off. Or should I, yeah? Negative emotions, Julie. I like that one. Negative thinking. Self-doubt, Georgie. Love that. Anybody else? Come on. I could think of some. I want to hear yours. Confidence, lack of anxiety. Not doing the things. Not taking action. Negative people, worry, which is anxiety. All the negative energy, yes. Without banishing it. Bad relationships. Bad habits. Self-doubt's the biggest one, Sam. Yes. That one disables you and poisons you. Not going to get health concerns sorted out and nagging on that. Taking time out for yourself. Not being gaslit. Putting healthy boundaries. Not putting healthy boundaries down. Come on, guys. Can you relate to these? Hi, Molly. Yes, self-doubt for sure. Big one, isn't it, that one, for some reason? Why is that one so big in society? I always question things like that. It gets me thinking. Lack of self-care, definitely a big one. And that can actually be associated, Georgia, with health. Mental health, emotional health. Sometimes we need to get rid of one other thing before the other thing can get sorted out. Yeah, definitely. And that can be, even you could drag that to someone you're with who you shouldn't be with. So people around you shouldn't be with you that are pulling on your energy like a vampire, what they call? Vampire draining energy people or something. I can't remember. What do they call it? Lack of sleep. Being around a narcissist. That will make you have depression. That will make you lack of self-care. It's like a cycle, isn't it? It isn't just one thing when you look at it. There's lots of things. What's that word? Snapper? Energy vampire. That's the word I was looking for. So this is about getting rid of one of those things. Then it frees up something else that comes in. So say if you get rid of a narcissist in your life. Could be a family person. It could be your family. It could be a friend. It could be a professional you're working with that have narcissism. Or it could be somebody around you who's always pulling you down when you try to do something. It could be the friends you're hanging around with. They don't have goals. They don't have great visions. They're happy sitting in front of TV watching Netflix all day, which is great. But they don't want more. Because the thing is, when it's actually scientifically proven, I can't remember how to say it, that the people we hang out with, now that could be people you're watching, like me, on here, or the people you talk to daily online, or in the shops, or you go for a cup of tea with, or whatever, their energy will rub off on you. So if they're go-getters, if they're like people who go and grab the moment, that they've got confidence, they've got goals, and that you can see something in them that you want to be, they're the people who will lift you up, because they're the people who will motivate you, inspire you. And what happens? Energy attracts energy. You'll start picking up their energy and you'll start growing with them, and you'll end up like them. But if you're around somebody who's, doesn't want to enjoy life, isn't interested in life, and I don't mean people with mental health, I mean literally they're just that, they're just like that, or they're very narcissist, or they're very trapped-minded, one-set-minded. Their energy will mix with yours, and you'll end up like them. So have a look who you hang out with. Okay? Low vibration people. I love that, Georgina. That's fantastic. Fantastic. Because low vibrational people, and that is not mental health. That's something else, okay? And we can look into that. Low vibration people are people who just really don't care. They could do the things, but they don't want to. There's no reason why they couldn't. And they sort of pull your energy down with them. So it could be clearing out your TikToking bots. It could be clearing out your email. It could be clearing out your friend list of who you want to hang out with and who you don't. Because then you give more room for new inspiration to come through, new creators, new emails, new people, new friends, new opportunities, and growth. So sometimes when we get rid of the old that hasn't worked and hasn't helped us and is stagnant, like that hanged man in a tarot, and he's like hanging there going, yeah? Release. And what happens after release? He gets reincarnated. That's a nice thing. Yeah? That's what we all like. And growth. Because we've made space. There is only a certain amount of energy that the universe can hold in ourselves, in our energy fields. And that could be negative and positive in a mixture. You want that to be as positive as much. And that includes who you're hanging out with. And that's what we need to think about on Lammas. What we need to get rid of to make room for more or for growth. So, ridding the negative, what do we need to get? That's, you know, like we just talked about, bringing in growth. That's a thing of Lammas. Does this make sense? That's so interesting. Yeah, it is when you think about it, Georgine. It's really true. Now, if this is a bit hard for you, because I don't want to make it too hard, take one thing. One little thing. So, I really want to ask you now to give me one thing. You don't have to go into detail unless you want to. That's cool. That you are going to offer up on Lammas, 1st of August, that you're going to get rid of, like the Hanged Man does, that you're going to offer up, like John Corn did, okay, the harvest god in Witchcraft. He gave himself so we could eat the corn, which made bread of life. So what thing are you going to give up, what you're going to offer up to get rid of, that's negative in your life, that will make room for growth, for positive things to come in? What is blocking you? People, it could be people or things, mind, body and spirit. Marriage, says Georgina. Yes, I know that one. Your ex, Sam. Yes, yes. And you don't have to do it in big chunks, because if it's in big chunks, right? If you struggle, okay, do not do it in big chunks. Nobody's asking you to do this in big chunks. Especially if you struggle and you've got mental health or trauma, you might want to do it by like this. Petal by petal. Think of a rose. Petal by petals. The petals of a rose. You're literally pulling one petal, one petal, one petal. Okay? And then that goes, then a new rose blooms. Okay? So think of it as petals. Don't think of it as great boulders, because it's too hard. When we think of something great big boulders, that can be really too hard. Negative people, yes, definitely, says Sam. It could be something as easy as like, in the mornings, I'm going to get up half an hour early, because that will give growth, that I'm not so stressed with the children in the morning about getting ready for school. Or I can sit down, have a cup of tea, I can, you know, smell some lavender oil, I can ground myself with my feet on the ground, I can have some thought process, cast a little spell, whatever you do, cleanse myself all. And then that shifts the energy for that day to make it more positive. And that way there's growth. It will lead to more positive opportunities, because you're more positive, you attract that positive energy, and things get less self-doubt, more confidence, and then boom, growth comes in, something else. Does this make sense? Yeah, it does. Positive energy, sage, yeah. So, do you know, Julie, forgive your son, is there one thing he could do to give up or do that will bring in positivity? It could be, if he spends a lot of time in his room, maybe he could just say, right, 10 minutes a day, I'm going to come and have a cup of tea with you guys and watch my favourite channel. I bet you now that energy will grow. And within a year, it turns 20 minutes, then 30 minutes. Do you see what I mean? When you give up something negative, something else comes in positive. Yeah, what you give out. Yeah, I'm going to have a lack of mindset. I love that. I'm so into that, Georgina. Mindset things. I used to read loads of books on that. I remember I actually subscribed to this mindset group thing once. I love mindset work. Open minds are just fabulous, wonderful things. Yeah, start to believe in himself. Yeah, and maybe one action. And yes, we've started this last week. Yeah, so it could be one thing, Julie. Just one thing. Think of the petals of the rose. One petal at a time. So you know, I'm trying it with my daughter. Like, just for 10 minutes a day, just come and have a cup of tea. You'll be amazed what 10 minutes does. You know? Or it could be just anything, you know, like some people want to open a TikTok channel like this, but they're scared of going live. So just say, okay, don't want to go live, but for once a week I will post something. And just, you're allowing growth. Before you know it, you're on here live every day and you've got a massive audience. Yeah, like a flower, keep watering it. I like that. Bring him down to join in. Yes! Have a cup of tea and a chat and a giggle. Yeah, just 10 minutes. And I bet you that positive energy will grow and he'll be overstaying without knowing it. So what do we need to sacrifice and surrender for growth? That's Lammas. And I'm going on. I ain't sticking to my notes, am I? I don't know how to sell my art on here. I need to figure it out. Okay, so why don't you start, Georgina, by... Oh, I know what you mean. By just posting it. Literally just posting it onto your page. Photos, videos, lives. I don't know. Where are you? Where are you, Georgina, with it? Just post it. Once a day, you're going to post it. You're going to write a little few things up. Put some hashtags in. And before you know it, you start doing videos, and then you start doing lives, and then you'll start looking into how other people do it, and then it'd be like, you'll be researching how to do that. Just posting it, photos and videos, okay? So the next thing, what about the next thing? Going live. Sat there in your chair, talking about the art. You don't have to sell it, you're just talking about it. Yeah? Oh yeah, I need to research. There's loads. I can't say on here because I'm not allowed to, because TikTok rules. But no, it's not scary going live. Why don't you go live and not show your face? That's an easy way. Just show the art and talk. Yeah? Or do you know you can even do a voiceover? YouTube. There you go. YouTube. Oh, I shouldn't be saying that word. God. Sorry. TikTok. Yeah. Don't show your face, or ask somebody to stitch with you. I'll stitch with you. I'll do a duet with you. Collaborate with other creators. You could collaborate with me. We could go on together. If you don't want to talk, I'll do the talking for you. We could do a stitch or a duet. Get to know other creators. Watch what they do. Find out. Talk to them. Get encouraged. Okay. So, the next thing is bread as magic. So lammas, we all know as lammas. Lunasad is the bread, is our symbol. Because it symbolises the corn god. It symbolises John Corn. And it symbolises life. Because, you know, I always think, I don't know about you guys, whenever I think of bread, I think of the poor Victorians where they had nothing to eat but bread. And it makes me sad, but bread kept them alive. They didn't have bread, they would have, you know. But the universe wants you to have abundance. It wants you to have more than bread. It wants you to have loads. It's basically a symbol for abundance. Bread is a symbol of John Corn. Meaning abundance, meaning prosperity, wealth, and everything you'd want. So it's just a symbol. Does that make sense? So I'll tell you one thing I do that you could take and do yourself, or twist it to how you like, is there's a place that I go, it's very old, and it goes back to medieval times. And I love old history. It helps me connect to the witch in me more. What about you? Do you like history? Who likes the old times? Who feels more connected for the old times? Say yes if you do. In the old villages. You do. I can't see a name. Looney. I like that. Name's Looney. Love it, so joining it. Yeah, I know you do, Sam. Period drama. Yeah, me too. And the books, Georgina. I'm reading one at the moment. I love Dilly Court. Yeah, I do. Emma. Yeah. Well, there's a place that it's got this very old bridge. Sherlock's asleep. And basically, I don't know the history about it. He knows the history, but it's very old. It's a lot of energy there. And I think these old places, as witches, we get this beautiful, lovely energy around ancient or old places. There's so much energy. There's the times before. It's what us witches love, isn't it? Energy. And you can go to the bakery there, and they do these. They're called they're just basically wheels, and they're like white loaves. This really heavy loaf like that, and it's not expensive. I think I paid like £2. I was really shocked. And it's a massive white loaf. It's definitely undercharging ourselves. And what I do is I take the loaf of bread, because the loaf of bread in witchcraft, especially with Lammas, and I will be doing it hopefully this time, stands for abundance, harvest, wealth, prosperity, all those kind of keywords. So what you can do is, because it's a round circle, it stands for the witch's wheel, the turning of the wheel. It can stand for destiny, sort of the world card, which is our destiny and our journey and good things. So you break it into 4, like the elements. So you've got earth, fire, air and water. So by symbolising the bread of life into 4, you're invoking the elements which give life. We can have life without fire, air, water, earth, because we need it to sustain us. The universe gives it to sustain us. So break that into 4. And then I offer that, I offer it to the earth, the land spirits, and as an offering on Lammas. And, you know, you can get the round, if you can't get a full round wheel that I get up there, you can just get like a tin loaf that's like round. It's better if it's round. And then, you know, if you can't find, but pop it into 4 to the elements, sustaining life, and you could offer that to the land spirits, the earth spirits, the spirits of the land, and just offer it and give thanks and gratitude. And maybe you could, at that time, you could ask the spirits of the land in witchcraft. Asking's okay, you know, it's good to ask. What you would like, what are your dreams and desires? What would you like in abundance? Doesn't matter how much you dream or however big that is. Of course you can have it, says the universe. And dreams are for that. There's lots of people who live our dreams. There's always going to be someone above us who lives our dreams. And just set that intention in your head that whatever you do, you're always going to try to do something and be led by the universe towards that dream. And ask to be led, and just give that bread on Lammas to the spirits of the land. That in itself is a spell, okay? That's an offerings spell. When is it? 1st of August. Is milk, bread, yeah, any type of bread. Warburton! I'm sure they like a bit of Warburton. It's a bit more expensive, I like that. Homemade is always better, of course, especially when we're working with elementals, nature spirits. They are a bit fussy. If you can make homemade, ooh, blimey, that's the best. But if you can't, then get the best of... I always say get the best of what you can. Nature spirits, elementals, or spirits of all sorts really like the best, don't they? You know, the universe likes the best. You know, what's the best for us, so we should want the best for the spirits of the universe and our guides. You can do it for your guides too, spirit guides. There's one thing I do a lot for my spirit guides. Keep them on board. They really are your mothers, your nurturers, your kin in witchcraft. So bread is magic. So gratitude and offering, I've just gone through that. This one thing I wanted to say is, this is a time of looking at ourselves on Lammas and being thankful to ourselves for surviving, for healing, and for blooming. Think about that. It's a heavy one. I reckon it's going to be a heavy one for a lot of you. Be grateful to yourself on Lammas for surviving, for healing and blooming. So as we see where we've come from Imbolc to now Lammas, so February to now, we survived, we healed, and we've bloomed. Doesn't matter how small that is, that's massive. Even if it's a petal on a rose, you're shedding and you're allowing growth. Does that make sense? Love that, says Sam. Good. I thought it would touch a few of you when I wrote it. So tell me one thing you're proud of. One thing you're proud of since Imbolc to now. Beautiful, says Julie. It's true, isn't it? See, when you look at things differently, it removes the self-doubt, improves your confidence. When we look at things negatively, it pulls us down and it disables us. Yeah, just try hard to be proud of self. Yeah. So pick one thing that you're proud of in yourself. One thing. Go on, guys. Removes the fog before. Yes, it does. It does that. It can remove the pain of trauma. It can remove the self-doubt of narcissistic people that have put that there. It can remove the struggles and the claims put on you from society just by saying, be proud of yourself for surviving, healing and blooming. So, dignity, you're so powerful. Oh, good, because sure you should be, Georgina. Sure you should be. Absolutely the best thing you can do for yourself. And you're proud of stepping into your power. I love that, Sam. Well done. Well done. So you had to survive to get there. Then you had to have healing. Now you're blooming, aren't you? See as it comes in? Took you a long time, Georgina. But you did it. So well done you. You should be thankful to yourself for doing that. Anybody else, one thing that you should be proud of? It could just be that you keep going. You keep surviving. That's something to be proud of. I can think of a few people, and they're not actually saying anything at the moment. Hi, Sophie. I'm proud of regaining my power back. I love that, Emma. Well done, you. Because that takes a lot of guts. Reclaiming your power. That takes a lot of guts. That's a biggie. Julie says, being a mum and never giving up on anything. Yes, definitely that's surviving, healing and blooming all the time. Literally, keep going. Literally just by keep going is surviving, healing and blooming. And keep pulling on it like the petals of a rose. Keep chipping away. The petals of a rose. Just think, one petal at a time. Okay, so give me one thing that you're ready to release today before we move on. And we do a little mini sort of chant. So one thing that you're ready to release. It could be, you tell me, self-doubt and fear. Good. That is enough to move you forward. Anybody else? I think that's a biggie, Georgina. I think a lot of us have that one. Self-doubt and fear. One could be taking action, not taking action, actually making yourself take action. Doing it, doing the things. Okay. Yeah. Negative. Was that not taking action? I released that too. Yeah. Maybe, Georgina, you could say to yourself, you are going to write it down in your diary or journal or your calendar on your phone. one thing you're going to do to take action. And then once you've took that action, you're going to review it and think about what you can do after that. Does that make sense? By literally writing it down on a date and saying, I'm going to do this that day. Nothing else, I'm just going to do that. And doing it, you'll feel proud. And then you can review it and think, okay, I've done that. Now what can I do next? I'm going to stick that in the diary. You know, write it down, buy a diary, yeah. Or use the calendar on your phone. That's what I do. It's making, when you write it, there's power in writing. As a witch, all us witches know